Hey everybody, welcome to the video on Ethereum. I haven't done a video on Ethereum since last Wednesday, I believe. So we'll go ahead and get right to it. Of course, this is not financial advice, I'm not your financial advisor. The market's extremely risky and volatile, especially in leveraged exchanges. Therefore, you are responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, doing your own research, and I am here just to give my opinion on the market. And check out some of the links that we have down in the description as well, especially if you want to earn some free Bitcoin. All right. So let's take a look at things. Not a whole lot, to be completely honest. Not a whole lot has changed since the last time we looked at this. When we were looking at this chart the last time, we were in a little bit of a W formation that we had down here. And so just to kind of recap on this, when I'm talking about a W formation, pull out my polyline here, we had our move up here, then we had our move down, and then a move up about halfway, and we moved right back down to the start, and then we're starting to, we're wanting to move back up here to 223 to 225. That's what it looks like it wants to do. So as a hedge, I shorted Ethereum back here at about $191. I'm still in that short. But likely I'm going to get stopped out on that. I've caught a lot of funding in the process, which was kind of nice. Basically, when I saw this hit, I thought potentially it was going to continue moving down, but I just let the position ride. I didn't really have a huge strategy in it, but just letting it go. And I've got a stop loss, I think, just a little over $190, which is probably going to hit if I had to guess. But nonetheless, we are now sitting here in the middle of trying to resolve this this move back up, this push back up. We're consolidating. There's a lot of daily support that we have right here at about $181.50 or so. Lots of support, which was also previously resistance. This area is something I do want to pay attention to. Basically, it's going to come out to about right here. And it goes all the way back here to August, and likely before then. Yeah, I suppose it probably also would extend way back here. So we'll go ahead and pull this back here. So that $181.55, 181.50, just to keep it nice and simple, that's pretty important for us to hold, because that was our resistance back here during the, we'll call it a mini bull market, right? When we broke through 181.50, that's when we were able to push all the way up to 365. So again, yes, all the way back here, we went all the way up to the high was actually 366. Okay, but anyway, that 181.50. That was resistance, then it became support, although it was a good front run of the support back here on May 12th. And then when we came back down, we had a front run as support here. We broke through this this support block, then it became resistance, but the support still was 181.50. We still had wicks trying to get down below, and it wasn't until this day here, which was August 28th, that we were able to push down, went to our next support zone. And then we had a good reaction off of that. This is the kind of reaction that you do want to see, but then the follow through to continue to the upside wasn't there. We hit this next resistance line, which was at about $224, and then we pushed even lower, all the way down to what our recent low is, around 151. So right now, what I want to see 181.50 hold, because it did for a while. Let me thin this line out just a little bit, and again we'll go right back into we'll go in and zoom in on this just a little bit so we can see here. Lots of support here. We fell through, it was resistance, then we pushed through it, we fell through, it was resistance, we fell through, now we're pushing through, and it's support. So the question is, are we going to follow previous trends, or are we going to finally push through? So here we have our resistance, push through, and then fall through. And then we had our resistance, push through, and then fall through. And so now we're basically at an area where we had resistance, we pushed through, we came, but we didn't fall through. We're still using this as support, and we're starting to move back up. So if we can take out like 194 to 195, I think that's fantastic. If we can break through 194, 195, especially this magic number here, 200, that's a good psychological number to pay attention to. If we can push through 200, good chance we can push up to 225. So yeah, that's only about a 12% gain if my calculations are right. So if we are able to push up from 200 to 225, that is, yeah, about 12.5% or so from 200 to 225. Not too bad, but of course, if you take a 10x trade on a 10% rise, you're talking about 100% there. Not that I'm condoning doing 10x leverage or anything like that, but if that is your thing, you definitely have to play it very safe, right? So the safe play here is on a push up above 200 and then a retest, and it'll likely happen pretty quick before we get that move up to 225. Now the retest of 200, like I said, that'll likely happen quick, but the push up to 225 could happen in a day or two, could happen in a week. So you also have to take into account funding if you're using leverage and all of that. But nonetheless, we're sitting right here, right in the middle of our 180, 150 and our 191. And our, sorry, 191, 194, in that range up here. Basically, our support resistance block, we're sitting right here in the middle, so there's not a real good trade here to take if you ask me, just my opinion. I wouldn't be willing to risk it at this point. So, so just be very careful. And if we come back down here to 180, 150 again, chances are pretty good we're going to fall, and we're probably going to break through. We may not get as low as 151 or 152. We may only come down to maybe 168, 169, that level, which lots of confluence. This level right here, let me just go ahead and plot this out as well. This level is pretty important for us. Because that was support. You could even call this a support, even though we kind of went down below. We sprung up each time we tested even lower. So, we sprung up, then it was support again, support again, support again, and then we pushed down kind of far, but we had really good bullish reaction off of that, and that's where we have found our support ever since. Again, that candle closed about 180, 185, and we've been closing above that just about every day since. So that's good. That's good for a reaction off of this level to continue to move to the upside. Still being very careful, being very cautious on things, because this hit right here on October 26th. We hit up right at $200. Then we pulled down. And then we did our retrace up here to the high of 193.75, and we haven't taken out that high yet. If we can do that, if we can push through 193, 194, and especially if we can push up above 200, then I think that you've got a really good chance of moving yourself up to about 225. But again, it's just my opinion on the market. Is there a potential that we move down? Definitely is potential that we do move down. Let me look at this on a different exchange. We'll go ahead and pull up Coinbase and take a look and see what this looks like. Obviously, what we had originally charted out a long time ago on this didn't happen. We didn't push down as far low as I had originally anticipated. I haven't looked at this chart in a long time. So let me just go ahead and clear this out. Now, if we're going to move down, let's see where we are potentially heading. So we're just going to wick off these areas here, which means, again, we could push up to, that goes to 208 to 210. Very possible there. Let's pull out our channel and see what the channel looks like here. Because if we are in a downtrend, this channel does seem to be pretty good. This would support another move up to about $210, and then a move back down to about 140, 139, somewhere in that range. Could go even lower if it takes a little bit longer for that to happen. But from the bottom to the top, so our bottom, which was right around $80 or so, I'll pull out my magnet here. We'll make sure that we do this just right. All the way down here at the bottom, which was $81.02, all the way up here to the top, Let's just take a look at this. The top was right around 364. Let's see if we got that pretty close. 364.49. That's pretty close here. We did fall through the 618, and we are actually still below the 618, which does, it has to give me a little bit of a bearish bias. But if we were to take a look at this, let's pull out the 786, which is right down here at a 141 or so. So if we continue to trade below the 618, which is at about 190, and especially if we close below the 65%, which is at $180, I think there is a significant chance we do come back to about 142. And if we come back down to 142, that's not the end of the world. Actually, I think that that's probably pretty good, because what we now have set up is a 1 and a 2, and then you've got your 3, 4, 5 way up here, which I won't project out right now. I don't want to be too unrealistic yet. But what I think we are more than likely going to see here, pull out my polyline, and let's do this in white. I like the polyline in white just a little bit better. So it wouldn't surprise me for us to come up here to about 208, come all the way back down here to about 141 or so, and then what I want to see is I want to see this 1, 2, and retest this, similar to what Bitcoin just recently did, by the way. Testing the top of this this trend line, and then we're going to get our 3 and then a 4, find that as support, and then we can get our 5. And then where that 5 is, I'm not going to speculate too much, but we have a really good impulse here, and then a good pullback. So, so the target, in case you're curious for something like this, starting down here, going all the way to the top, and then coming back down. Even if we just show this piece as at the bottom, or this one, the targets aren't too much different. So if we go to all the way down here, we can see that our target, our 50% expansion on the initial run at 123.6 at $500, that is very that would be very interesting to see, very interesting to hit. You can also see that there is some resistance, support, resistance, support at $500. That's a good psychological number. It's a 50% expansion off of the recent bull run that we had in the beginning of the first half of 2019. But yeah, that 123.6, that's a good area to pay attention to. But on a wave 3, the target's going to be at $611. And if we are able to get up to $611, it means that we're likely going to go even higher. It means that we could potentially go up to 900. But, I do not want to be extremely bullish right now. Not that I don't want to be. I do want to be, but I do have to keep things in perspective, taking a look at divergence. The 3-hour on Ethereum, if we go to the 3-hour, that's this yellow stochastic that we have down here. It's starting, to continue to move up, but it's going to start to eventually curl down. The 12-hour, which is the red that we see down here, the red is signifying that we have a lot more upwards movement ahead of us, but that doesn't mean that the lower time frames can't pull back. So, a pullback down to like 176, 178 is very, very possible. I don't want to say it's likely. I just want to say it's definitely possible. So you have to be careful. But we are in a consolidation zone where I would not be taking any trades myself, right? So just be careful. And yeah, that's what my opinions are, my personal opinions. But if you do have any questions or anything, feel free to pop in the Discord and ask those questions away. If you don't have an invite to the Discord, just throw in a comment, and I'll get an invite out to you. And otherwise, I will catch you all on the flip side.